Yes, I'm here to show you guys how to bake bread. But before that, baking bread is quite a complex process. So there are a few other life recipes which I'd like to tell you or share with you, and I think it will help you make bread in a better way. So I would start off with a documentary which I saw quite a few years ago. It's called Vastu Marambu. It's about the sculptors of Tanjore, and in which there is one phrase which Sri Ganpati Sthapati, who is the master craftsperson, and he is from an unbroken lineage of builders and architects of the Brihadeshwara temple. So he says that if one has to become a divine learner, then he has to go through these steps, where if he has to learn architecture in space, then he has to learn sculptor through body. If he has to become a sculptor, then he has to learn dance through music. And if he has to learn dance, then he has to learn music through thought and music through mathematics. So I was quite interested by this phrase, and I really wanted to start learning this ladder to reach the divine truth. And this was the same time when I saw a talk by Chris Anderson, who is the curator for TED since 2002. Now what he mentioned was, what his research mentioned was how dance movements have been changing throughout the world. How one person does a dance move in one part of the world and shares it with billions, and someone picks it up somewhere else and evolves it, and the dance movement has really become like a global thing. And it also continues to what Julius Yego did in the last Olympics, where he learned how to throw a javelin throw by looking at champions on YouTube, and he actually is a professional athlete. Now that changes something when learning is available so easily for everyone. And this is actually a close example to what Eklavya did, where there is no tutor as such, but you yourself are motivating yourself. So even I didn't want to be left out of the party, so I wanted to learn as many things as I could from the internet. So I started learning. I made a didgeridoo. I learned how to make a didgeridoo and learned how to play it. I learned how to play a djembe, and also a traveling friend of mine which is called a morchang. So it's actually a Rajasthani instrument, and it's quite popular all throughout the world. And it went on to making paracord weaving and origami. This is a piece which I designed. It's called Nucifera. I call it Nucifera because it's a scientific name for lotus. To even motorcycling, I learned how to do a few motorcycle techniques, touring, basic motorcycle maintenance, all through internet. So why was I learning all these trivial things? I call it trivial because in our society, if something doesn't yield money, it becomes a hobby. And so I call it trivial. It's better to call it trivial than hobby. So why was I learning all these trivial things? That's because when I'm at Design Innovation and Craft Resource Center, I was asked to document this complex piece of furniture as part of our vernacular furniture project. And before that, when I was at SBDW, I was asked to design a canopy for the swimming pool, which is quite big. Now both these assignments were quite challenging for me because I did not have any professional experience, neither any formal education in doing these specific tasks. But I was able to do it, and I think okay, it's a really good drawing, but I think I was not able to just do it, but give a fair justification to this opportunity. Of course, what Isaac Newton said holds true to me as well, where if he has seen any further, is because he is standing on shoulders of giants. In my case, I was standing on shoulders of my colleagues and other well-wishers. So why am I telling you this and the other trivial things? What did I learn from making a monkey fist, which helped me make a canopy? So both these things were quite new to me. I was learning them maybe from internet, but I did not know them before, and I did it for the first time. And what's common in between was, what's not common in between them was, when I was doing it for myself, I was really honest about it. I could throw a tantrum, okay, I'm not going to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow, or I've given too many chances for it today, so I'll do it sometime later. But when I was at work, I was a performer. I had to perform it, I had to know it, because I had given a word, I have a deadline. So doing as many trivial activities actually helps your mind become more agile and become a fast learner in any situation. So how does one become a learner? By hard work, passion, time, efforts, good tutors, internet, etc., etc. Well, not exactly. Those are the things which are happening on the outside. They are an outcome of something which has happened inside. So I'm here to talk about what has happened inside, which results into hard work, you becoming passionate about that particular subject. So I'll start off with a story where I was playing table tennis with one of my senior professors at CEPT University, and he was quite new to the sport, and I have been playing since childhood. So we were just practicing, and I realized that he is picking my techniques and trick shots so easily and so swiftly that I was really surprised, and he was quite an old faculty. So for his age, I was quite amused that okay, he is able to learn faster than me, right? So after a friendly match, we were just having a conversation, and it just came up, and I asked him that how is it that you're learning so fast, and he just mentioned that I'm not scared to fail in front of you. Now that particular instance like opened a lot of situations in which I had been scared to do something and ended up not learning it. So first thing, if you want to learn, do not be afraid to fail, because everyone fails. You fall down and that's how it is. You have to fail, otherwise there's something wrong or you're too gifted. So firstly, there was insecurity for being a learner or insecurity to fail. So in continuation to that, there is a story which I'd like to share, which is of a conference happening where Dalai Lama was giving a lecture on having compassion the importance of having compassion in one's life. And towards the end of the conference, the master of ceremony asked Dalai Lama, Your Holiness, the last question for the evening would be, what is the importance of life? Now, the whole audience chuckled to this because it was such a cliched question. But the Dalai Lama gave a fair thought to it, and everyone was really curious on what he says because he is the spiritual leader of a religion. So, after thinking a lot, he said, the precise answer to your question is, I don't know. Now, that is a really interesting answer because a lot of people have interpreted his answer in different ways. But the way I look at it is, when you say that I don't know something, you are actually opening the doors to knowing it. When a junior of mine in office, a colleague of mine comes and asks me something, and if I know 5% of it, but I portray because I'm a senior as if I know 100% of it, I'm actually closing the opportunity to learn the rest of the 95%. So to be a learner, you have to accept that irrespective of the social pressure that you don't know and you would like to know. What people will remember is that you like to know and not that you did not know. So even Dalai Lama doesn't know. Also coming back to the learning aspect, it is like a test match. It is really boring. Just like the India-Australia recently, it was bad. So it is going to be frustrating. You are not going to get the results you want. There won't be any spectators to see you perform. Right? It is exactly like a test match, and you will be getting thoughts of dropping it, having an easier solution to the problem, or learning something else, probably asking someone's help, or worse than that is asking someone else to do it. But unfortunately, this is not Matrix where you get rigged onto a chair and then you learn like martial arts like that. You will have to go through the rigorous training and be in that situation where you are putting hardships to get to that position. So talking of hardship, I was traveling from a remote village in Gujarat and to Surat for the vernacular furniture project, and I got onto this really rickety bus which the image was of, and I was really excited because I got a seat right next to the driver, and it's one of my favorite seats because you get the whole panorama of scene, and it's a really mountainous road, so I was really excited. And as we started from the bus depot, the driver asked me to put my left hand out, and I was really surprised on why is he asking me to do so, but it did not take me long to understand that I was actually giving a left side indication that the bus is turning on the left side. So for the rest, I realized that for the rest of the journey I am going to be the human left side indicator for the bus, and it was quite a task. I think I should put it in my CV. So what happened was I was really excited for this job. I was doing it But after a few times, it got onto me. I was really tired of it. There was no synchronization. He was yelling at me. I was like giving it on the wrong time. I was getting late. I was doing it too early, and it was really a mess. But that's when I thought, okay, I shouldn't do it. Why I should ask someone else to just sit over here. But the scene was too good. The view was too good. So I thought, okay, I should learn how to be the best human left side indicator to a bus. And it did not take me long. It wasn't rocket science. So after like 1 hour or two, I was, giving an indicator even before he thought. So I think I'm one of the best indicators in the world to, do this job. So the point which I want to make here is travel to learn to travel. That's what this slide says. So because when you're learning and because when you're traveling, there are a few common things which happens. When you're traveling, you're faced with unfamiliar things and places and people. And when you're learning something new, you're faced with unfamiliar techniques, unfamiliar knowledge base, unfamiliar information, which you want to be familiar with. Traveling puts you physically into an uncomfortable situation, and you try your best, your mind tries your best in survival mode to find your own needs to be in comfort. So that is what learning is about. The more you travel, the more, these small bits and pieces of your own learning there will be, which will help you be a better learner when you are faced with a situation. But learning being such an extensive and uncomfortable thing, you need to treat yourself, because if you do not motivate yourself with micro treats and micro goals, you're just going to leave it. You're going to drop it after a point of while, unless you have a good tutor with you. So have small goals, have a muffin after you achieve something. In the bus case, I actually had a few peanuts every time I gave a proper indication. So that also helped me. Okay, I want to eat more peanuts, so I think I should become better at it. Yeah, but not every day is a treat day. There will be days when you don't get anything to eat, and that is when you need to learn how to make your bread. And that is why I am here to give this presentation. Frankly speaking, I don't know how to bake a bread. But my point is that I would like to learn too. But what I want to say is that you need to learn how to earn your bread. And earning bread is as equal as, learning as many things as possible. Because it will always keep you on toes, always keep you ahead of everyone else, because everyone has n number of things to learn. And the more you know, the more opportunities you're opening to yourself. Anyways, thank you so much for this time and listening.